Oh dear. Oh, I've just had a tumble.
Whoa, get a look at that.
Oh, there's two there as well. Oh, you little rats. Oh yes, so the big bag is donned and it's time for another wild camping adventure up a Wainwright called High Spy. And this time we're starting from the beautiful, slightly autumnal Borrowdale. So I've chosen this particular fell today for a couple of main reasons. Firstly is autumn. I'm really in the mindset of wanting to do fell walking at the minute, but obviously I really want to photograph autumn and what is the beginnings of autumn. And so I thought I'd choose a fell where the surrounding areas are quite wooded and kill two birds with one stone. But secondly, and I'll talk a bit more about this in a little while, but the weather forecast for tomorrow morning, when we're going to be waking up from the tent, is looking absolutely fantastic, and I am really hoping that it pulls through. But yeah, I've chosen this fell because we're going to be in a really good spot for that particular weather forecast, if it all works out, of course. Now, I found this particular adventure really tricky to pack for. I mean, wild camping is tricky to pack for at the best of times, especially when you're doing photography and stuff like that. But yeah, even more difficult this time round. The problem is the weather. At the minute, it's quite mild, 12, 13 degrees, especially for hiking. But it is forecast to be raining, hence why I've got my full waterproofs on. But the problem really is the temperature. Although it's quite mild now, it's forecast to drop down to about 4 or 5 degrees tonight. So I obviously don't want to be really cold in the tent. So I've got like my down jacket in there. I've got a fleece on under this waterproof jacket and, you know, just try to bring some layers. In fact, I think I might get the fleece off now and goodness me, try and cool down a little bit. So we just need to get up to that little dry stone wall just there, and then we're following it for probably about 1.5 km, 2 kilometers until we get to what's called Tongue Gill. Things should get interesting there, and that's when we'll start the proper ascending as well. You've no doubt noticed as well that we've got the hip pack on again, and that's just because of the weather forecast again. I was going to just put the Peak design clip on this bag, but I figured if it's going to rain, it'd be good to have it in the waterproof hip pack, which is what this one is, and just have it accessible. Same concept as the Peak design clip. So I really love this side of Borrowdale, these fells looking down. You just get such incredible views. You could see we've got the dome shape of Great End up there. Then we come around to Glaramara. We've got, what have we got here? Bessie Boot. I always like that name. And then, I mean, we're heading back towards sort of Derwent Water. Now, this is the first view we've got of Castle Crag, which is the smallest Wainwright, and we have been up there, that was quality. And then I guess that's part of Grange Fell there. That's King's How, just to the right of Castle Crag. But yeah, really nice views. And actually, I've never been up High Spy where we're going today, and Wainwright says from certain spots you get some really nice views over Derwent Water, and that is what I'm hoping for tomorrow morning. But all of that remains to be seen, and as I mentioned actually in last week's video, I don't want to get too caught up in what I'm expecting to happen and even what I'm hoping to happen. Que sera, sera. So I just wanted to show you here, you can see how an image, a photograph is sort of unfolding here with Castle Crag and King's How, like I've just spoken about. We've even got a little bit of Blencathra in between them. Clouds are amazing. All I've got to do really is try and line up this dry stone wall and this path so it leads nicely into them. I'd say, to be fair, probably somewhere around where we are now. So I'm actually going to take the shot from here. I've not moved at all. It's just one of those. It doesn't need overthinking. It's so simple. The scene has just presented itself to us. We've just got to press this little shutter button here and make sure we don't overexpose and make sure the focus is right. Probably a few other things as well. But yeah, nice dry stone wall and the path leading out. I'm going to use the viewfinder, and then I'm just going to focus 1/3 into the image, and then I'm actually going to zoom in slightly. I want Castle Crag, which is the fell. It's probably just behind my head, around about there. I want him on the left-hand third. Really, really simple. Let's grab that now. There we go. I've actually used the high-res shot mode again, so it's a 50 megapixel image, and the only time that you can't use that mode is when there's something moving in the frame, if there's people in the frame or cars moving past, but in this scene, as you can see, nothing's moving, so may as well use it. So that big lump there is, well, pretty much high spy. We're looking up towards him, and we have to go up this gill that you can see there and then sort of loop back round to get to the top of the fell. So we're going to be swinging a left very soon. But yeah, the conditions are absolutely beautiful. Look at them views down into Borrowdale. That is just absolutely fantastic. So this is where we take our left turn now, up this way, up through the gill. And yeah, it's a bit of a crossroads, I suppose. This one is obviously where we've just come from. Down here we'll take you, well, down towards the River Derwent, eventually down into the village of Rosswaite, and then this direction, where you can perhaps see the little Herdwick, just down there, that will take you, you'll sort of skirt past Castle Crag, and eventually you'll get into the little village of Grange. But that's a really nice walk. In fact, I don't know for sure yet, but I'm hoping to do a little bit of a loop track. So tomorrow morning I'll come back down the other way, down from High Spy, and then hopefully come up this track here, because down in that direction there's some really, really nice woodlands as well. But for now, we're heading up this gill. The views are just immense back down towards Rosswaite, down into Borrowdale. Absolutely wonderful. Obviously just getting better and better with every step. So we haven't got too much longer to go, to be honest with you. We're just approaching some old quarries, really. Disused quarries. This one's called Rig Head. We'll slide up past him. That's going to be the hardest bit of ascent, I think. And then just a small ascent, really, to get to the top of High Spy. So yeah, really not too much further to go. I wasn't going to mention this, but I have got my Tran gear. I've got it, and I'm hoping to use it for the first time in frigging over a month now. I've got a pot noodle with me, And I mean, I've got my lighter, I've got everything, there's no wind. I can't think of any reason as to why we won't be using the Trangia, finally. But yeah, that remains to be seen. Look at that little beast there. Oh yes, no need to bring the tent. Just get yourself in there, get the mat down on the deck. Oh man, that goes in pretty far, to the point where I can't even see it. How cool. Ooh. Another one there, look. Oh, what a gaff. So we're leaving the quarries behind. They were really cool. To think that people used to work up here, man. I bet there was some grim conditions and everything. I bet they were hard people. But yeah, it was so steep there as well. I'm glad to be out of it, to be honest. So all we're doing really now is heading up this slope, and then hopefully we can find somewhere to pitch up the tent. First, got to get over this stile. But yeah, it's a bit of a ridge, so judging by the Ordnance Survey maps anyway, there should be... Oh God, I'm absolutely knackered. There should be a load of places to put the tent, so don't need to worry at this stage. More ascent. Wow, that is such an impressive view. Extremely impressive. We've got Dale Head here, Dale Head Crags, and then that big wall that you can see off in the background there, that is Hinscarf. And wow, I was not expecting him to look so impressive from here. That is absolutely amazing. But we are heading in this direction, so see you later, Hinscarf. So I'm just stopping here to grab an image of that scene there. I am going to zoom in slightly, but it just looks so dramatic and craggy. I don't know, like, you know, compared to the other side where we've come from, a lot of the times Borrowdale, in the most beautiful way possible, can feel quite quaint, you know, whereas this, wow, this feels so dramatic, so I must get an image of it. And I'm kind of centering the whole composition on the sort of black fells you could see, hopefully right up in the background in the centre of your frame, where we've got Crag Hill and Sale, little bit of Hinscarf on the left-hand side, and then this crag that's right in front of us here on the right-hand side. It all balances out quite nicely. So we're going to zoom in slightly. What we're in at? Ooh, about 30 millimeters, maybe 40. F5.6, aperture priority. There we go. And yeah, I like the look of that. Once again, the clouds are looking brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I don't feel like we've had many of these dramatic clouds recently, but yeah, really liking the look of that one. A classic dramatic Lakeland photograph taken with, I suppose, a bit of a telephoto focal length. So there is the summit cairn of High Spy. We are almost there, and it's looking, as I'm sure you'll agree, it's looking really flat up here. However, I just want to make sure it's not all about the pitch on top of the fell. I'm not too bothered about being on top of High Spy. It's more about the view, and more specifically the view that we're likely going to get in the morning. So I might actually go a little bit further past, but let's get to the top. Oh wow, again, so much more dramatic than I thought it was going to be. These are the views that we've been getting. We got back to Grisdale Pike, Sale, what's past here? We've got Whiteless Pike right off in the distance there, which is where I started these Wainwright adventures. Hinscarf again, Dale Head, what we photographed earlier, and then look at this, we've got Great Gable over there, the Scarfell Range looking absolutely incredible, Bowfell, through some of the clouds there. That low cloud is beautiful. And then, I mean, we've even got pike a stickle. That is just incredible. The Langdale pikes, and then the sort of Helvellyn range over there as well in the cloud. Oh, absolutely amazing. And then, friggin' hell, we might as well keep going round. Blencathra, Skiddaw, we could see a tiny, tiny little bit of Bassenthwaite. But the reason I want to move that way a little bit is because I want to try and get a view of Derwentwater. And yeah, Wainwright says there's a couple of crags over here, in particular one called, I think, Blee Crag, where you get a really beautiful view of Derwentwater. So I'm going to head over there because that's where I want to put the tent. Fingers crossed for some flat sections. So yeah, it's somewhere over on this next mound over here, and you can see actually we're just starting to get a little glimpse of Derwentwater. So I guess that's a really good visualization of the lay of the land and how by the time we get over there, we should have quite a nice unimpeded view of Derwentwater. Oh, I'll tell you what, the temperature has dropped. It feels like quite significantly, so the forecast was not wrong. The ears are getting a bit nippy, and I'm glad I packed those few extra bits and bobs, the down jacket and whatnot, because before, when I was hot and sweaty coming up the fell, I was thinking, why have I packed all this hot stuff, man? But yeah, delighted. So as nice as that little ledge was that you just seen me there a second ago, overlooking Derwentwater, there wasn't really a flat section to put the tent, but I've only come back about 20 metres or so. I lost a little bit of the vista of the lake, but this is fine. We've got a nice flat section here. This is more important for me to try and get a good night's sleep and be a bit more comfortable than to be somewhere really, really nice looking out of the tent. Like I said, it's only like 2 seconds walk down there anyway. It'll be fine. So we're going to get the tent out. And yeah, I've got food on the mind. I am absolutely shattered, I have to admit. Oh, it's still not a bad view, like, is it? This tent's got one of these, like, I don't know, it's like a H shape. H for Henry. Like a H-shaped pole, and it's the kind of all connected. It's essentially one big giant pole for the whole of the inner of the tent. And yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure if I quite like it just yet. I don't know if I like it or not. It seems like it might be a little bit of a faff. I don't know. Right, so no messing about here. I am starving. We are getting chicken and mushroom pot noodle on right away. We've got the Trangia, we've got this little windshield here, which I don't think we'll need it actually, but I'll probably pop it out anyway. And yeah, the tent's all set up. I'll show you actually. It's looking nice and cozy in here. Yeah, I've got the old thermarest. Down sleeping bag should be nice and warm. The old Nemo pillow, absolute beast that is. And I tell you what, for any of yous that have watched me for years, I suppose, you may remember I used to do a fair bit of wild camping, and I had a really small tent. It was like essentially a bivvy bag. It was a tent, but it was so small, man. And it is lovely to have. This is a 2-person tent. Just to have a bit of extra space is fantastic. Right, let's see if we can use the Trangia. So for those of you that are new to my channel, well, maybe this is the first video that you're watching, welcome. But yeah, the Trangia, I keep banging on about it. There's nothing wrong with it. I've just had about 3 or 4 failed attempts at using it. It's fairly new. I only bought it like 6 weeks ago or something like that, and I've just not had the opportunity to use it. for various reasons. Either it's too windy or I've forgotten my lighter, which I just saw a second ago. Oh, there's water everywhere there. There it is. But yeah, I think this could be the first use if I could work out how to get this fuel thing open. There we go. So a bit of extra fuel in there. There's your dinner. I don't know how much to use. I haven't used a Trangia in ages. Tightening back up. Suppose now, the moment of truth. The moment of truth. Are we lit? No. Why won't you light? Oh, no. Oh my gosh. It won't light. It won't light. And I think it's just occurred to me what the issue is. It's the fuel. I cannot believe it. No way, man. No way. Oh, this fuel is really old. I want to say 3 years old. I didn't think that would make a difference, but I mean, it won't light. That's the only thing I can think. Oh, it's worked. It's worked. I think I put a bit of extra fuel in. And yeah, that's burning now. Oh man. Maybe I just didn't have enough in. I'm quite a beginner, I suppose, to alcohol stoves. Or I'm not a beginner. I used to use a Trangia quite regularly, but it's been a long time. This is looking good though. So whilst waiting for the water to boil, let's chat about something I mentioned briefly earlier, and that is the weather forecast for tomorrow morning. Now, I don't want to get too hung up on it because in landscape photography, well, in anything really, if your expectations go too high, you end up disappointed. And this is brilliant. Look at this for a spot. I don't want to end up disappointed. So I've had a good look. I've chosen this evening deliberately because there is a real conclusive forecast of fog, heavy fog down in the valleys. So, I mean, if it works, if the forecast is right, we should be waking up to, you know, at least a bit of fog down there for the photography, but maybe a cloud inversion, and that would be amazing. But yeah, I don't want to think about it too much. If it happens, it happens. If not, this is still absolute quality. And my water's boiling. The Trangia is working. I am buzzing about that. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the morning. But that would be lovely, and it'd be fantastic for the photography as well, obviously. Whew. Look at this, man. Absolute fine dining. Oh, the king pot noodle as well. And we've not even got the soy sauce in just yet. Oh, unreal. And what a vista to enjoy. Right, time for the soy sauce. I'll turn my torch off. You'll probably see me better. Because, I mean, you don't want to miss this moment, obviously, do you? I guess. Look at... Ooh. I swear there used to be more. I haven't had a pot noodle in a while, probably the last time that I had it on this YouTube channel. They are convenient. Oh, look at that, man. It's just gourmet, isn't it? Actually, I'll tell you what, in all seriousness, it is lovely once the temperature's dropped and you can like prepare yourself a little bit of like a bit of cold food, a bit of hot food in the cold. It just makes the world of difference. The taste test, as if no one's ever had a pot noodle like. Oh man, exactly like I just said, it is so nice to have something hot. I'll tell you what, it's freezing as well, the temperature's proper dropped. Oh, so look at that. The pot noodle's been polished off. So to show you that coziness of that. Actually, before I forget, I need to open up these little vents here. If you watch my last little wild camping trip a month or two ago, I didn't open these up and I had quite a lot of condensation actually on the inside of the tent, which was annoying, but yeah, I neglected to open up those vents. So we'll see if this makes a difference. So good morning all. Firstly, let me address my rudeness. I didn't say goodnight to you. Just terrible. To be honest, I forgot I had my head touch on. I got really cosy in the tent, in my sleeping bag and all of that stuff, and I was just listening to an audiobook. It was freezing outside and I was just really sleepy, and that's proper unlike me when I'm out wild camping. Usually I'm alert all night, I have terrible sleeps, and I just didn't want to break it. So that's my excuse for being rude. But I had such a good sleep as wild camping goes. To be honest, I think I've just had a good sleep full stop. I've probably had about 8 hours. It was amazing. And I mean, that's never happened before. I can only assume it's the new stuff I've bought recently, the comfy pillow and the warm sleeping mat, which last time out, it was noticeably comfier, which was the first time I used it all, but it was very windy. And if you'll remember, if you watched it, I forgot to bring earplugs. So yeah, it was quite a torrid night. But yeah, a brilliant sleep. And the morning, you're just gonna have to trust me on this because you can't really see behind me, but it's about 40 minutes till the sunrise. And we've got some like fog down in the valley. Definitely not a full-blown cloud inversion, but it looks incredible. But, and I don't know, you may be able to tell this, it's very claggy all of a sudden. It wasn't, honestly, about 15 minutes ago, it was clear. So I'm still feeling quite hopeful for the morning's photography and for the sunrise. Ooh, I just had to go on a little bit of an expedition to get some water. Look at the state of that. Look at it. Look at it, that's brown. But I'm going to filter it, firstly. And secondly, I'm not planning on drinking it. It's just to boil my breakfast. I've got one of them boil in the bag breakfast, all day breakfast. So yeah, it'll be fine. It'll do the job. So I wasn't actually going to have my breakfast just yet, but this cloud that's coming is, well, I'm thinking it might actually be the fog that was forecast, so that might be it. But I'm going to wait for the sunrise, wait for the light to come up, which is still another 25 minutes, so we've got time. And yeah, I'm just going to cook it up, one of these little beasts, and then I've just got to boil up my beautiful clean, that is grim actually, that's really grim, but like I said, I'm not drinking it, it's not touching the gob, but I am going to filter it as well, just as a precaution. So it is Trangier time once again. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh my gosh, what have I just done? Oh man, I cannot figure this frigging thing out. This is doing my head in. I need to learn to frigging test things at home before I come out and use them, so I know how to use things properly, but it just, like, it's not coming out. It's not coming out, and I don't want to squeeze too tightly because we all know what happens when you do that. Goodness me. I'm sure a load of yous are screaming at the TV now, like, Henry, you've just got to do this or unscrew that, or you should have done that. Oh man, I'm not using that water even just to boil the bag. Although to be fair, it has just frigging gone everywhere now, hasn't it? Raging, man. Look at the state of this down here. Oh, it's because there's food. It's because there's food concerned and I'm hungry. I want my brekkie. Oh, what a wally. So I've poured all the water away. I can't figure out how to use it. I feel like there was something I had to do when I first got it. I didn't read the instructions, obviously. But B, I've kind of exploded that contaminated water over all of my stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I probably shouldn't use it really. So I'm going to pack the Trangier away and move on from that situation and start thinking about the photography. Now on that note, I'm going to make a bit of an executive decision here, whereas as far as the photography is concerned, I'm going to pack everything up and move on, because as you can see here, we're just in Clag. But here's the thing, I don't think we're high up in low cloud. I mentioned it before, I think this is fog, like down in the valleys as well, which is good, but not if I'm up here. I need to be down there, so you'll probably be able to see there's a bit of a valley there that I can sort of scoot down. You'll remember earlier on in the video I mentioned that I was going to do a bit of a loop, and that is the continuation of this loop. So yeah, I feel like I need to be down in the forests in the fog from our best opportunity to get some good photographs. Also, there is a cafe in a little town, a little village called Grange, and it's a good cafe. So I might have to turn this little negative into a positive once again. I'm making a bit of a habit of that, aren't I? It's almost like I'm doing it on purpose at this stage. Oh, there we go. So we're all packed up. You probably see as well in the background, as I was packing up, it started clearing up somewhat. It's actually really nice. It's actually a bit annoying is what it is. Although, I mean, I would have had to have packed up anyway, wouldn't I? So it doesn't matter. I'm just going to go back down to this little ledge that I was on last night to see what the view over Derwentwater, over the lake, is looking like, because that was beautiful. It's just round this corner here. Oh, wow. This is the spot. It does look different from what it did this morning. I'll show you now. So you can probably see there, a bit of a, well, I don't know, cloud inversion, can't really say that. Just a bit of fog over Keswick, actually, at the minute. But that, this morning, first thing, was over Derwentwater. But as you can see, it's not much. But then, if you look over this way as the sun is rising, oh, wow. That is beautiful, down into, like, Borrowdale proper. A few little patches of fog down there as well. Oh, man. Not feeling as if maybe there's anything to photograph, which might look daft, because that probably looks really nice there. But as we all know, that doesn't necessarily mean there's a good photograph to be had. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to head down on my loop, which sort of goes down here, and just keep my eyes peeled. Oh, I just think that scene now, off in the background, is just the perfect example of how frustrating landscape photography can be at times. We've got all the elements. We've got some fog down in the valley, we've got the fells, we've got nice clouds, we've got a ray of light, a beam coming down through the clouds hitting the fells. We've got crags down here in the foreground, interest, woodlands down there, but there just doesn't seem to be a photograph. Like, yes, I suppose I could point my camera at all of that there now, but I don't know if it's going to make for a good photograph. Probably not. But yeah, I can see the path here now. That was a funny coincidence. So yeah, I'm just gonna stick to the plan. Keep heading down in this direction and keep my eyes peeled. Hopefully, some compositions start revealing themselves, or more importantly, I can start finding some. Oh, I've just had a tumble. Just had a bit of a tumble. I washed myself off in the river, but that hand was muddied. Oh, mate. I feel like this has been a bit of a frustrating one for me. The wild camping, they're trying to cook my brekkie, and the photography's been a bit annoying as well. By the way, that village there in the centre of your screen, Grange, that right there is the brekkie. I can almost see a little bit of steam coming up from the cafe as the bacon's being fried and the cough is being made. That's keeping me positive at least. And that view, that's unreal. So we're heading down that way, you can probably see the path there, but I've just spotted, if I just spin you around, not this, I mean this tree looks cool, but there's some really sort of vibrant yellow, are they like little silver birch trees? I'm not sure, but they're very autumnal, and we've got that view. So I'm just going to see if I can get up close and personal to them, see if I can create a composition with them in the foreground. Oh, so I don't know. The reason I came here was because of the colour contrast. You know, with the view's nice, but we haven't got any drama, we haven't got any light or anything like that. So this time of year, we're quite fortunate because we can get such vibrant colours in our photographs. So that's what I'm going for. It's been a bit of a weird one technically because it's a big patchwork of panoramas. So basically like 4 shots there vertically, 4 shots there vertically, 4 again, and then probably 4 more vertically. So it's a horizontal and a vertical panorama. So yeah, loads of photographs. I don't even know if it's going to work. I'll pop it up on the screen for you to see. Hopefully that's actually done something. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously the view's really nice. We've got the trees and the crags and the heather down here in the foreground just to give us a little bit of extra interest. But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking down at my cafe there now as well. I'm ready for my brekkie. I'm going to crack on. Hiya, how's it going? You alright? Can I please have a Cumberland sausage? Can I have it in like a bun? There you go, thanks.
Like a receipt?
No, it's all good.
Sausage sandwich.
There you go. Thanks very much.
Cheers now, thank you.
Ooh, you little beauty. Ah, that was a mint little cafe. I was really lucky. It opened at 10 o'clock and I sort of strolled in at 10:05. Didn't have a clue of the opening time, so yeah, that was lucky. But yeah, I've never been in there. I've been past it loads, but I am looking forward to this. And it's not over yet. We're going through 2 or 3 really nice woodlands. And if you're still watching, this has probably been a long one. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very much. And maybe drop a comment down below. Let me know where you're from, if you're still watching. I love to know where everybody's from. I find that proper interesting. Watching me eat my butties and walk through the Lake District and all that nonsense. Try and get some good photographs. Anyway, priorities. I'm going to find somewhere, hopefully a nice secluded bench to sit and have my coffee and my sausage bun.
Whoa, get a look at that. The humble Cumberland sausage. The region of my birth. What? Oh man, I love it, I love it. This is going to get absolutely inhaled.
Oh, look at this. This is a beast. So we've got about 2.5 miles of this to get back to the van. Just a beautiful woodland walk. Oh, look at this over the wall as well. So I am going to keep the eyes peeled for any more opportunities for photographs. But even photography aside, this is just going to be lovely. Now, this is probably going to be very niche, but I want to address the sandwich that I just had, that bun. It was unreal. Now, if anybody knows Booths, I guess most people watching this probably don't know Booths. It's a fancy upmarket supermarket in the north of England. Kind of like a Waitrose or Marks and Spencer's, but I think it's only up north. It's unreal, like, it's really, really nice. They've got loads of artisan products. And they do a Cumberland sausage bun, just like the one I've just had, and that has forever been my favourite. Never to be beaten. That little beauty there has just knocked it out of the park, man. That was unreal. But I was thinking, maybe it's just because I was so mad for it. Sometimes, you know, when you're just looking forward to a bit of grub so much, everything tastes better. And it's like when you get free food, it just tastes better. But I don't know. I highly recommend it anyway. There's only one cafe in Grange. I should have got the name of it. I'll put it up on the screen. Get yourself there if you're in the area. If that frigging sandwich is anything to go by, that is worth a visit, right? Quick spinneroonie before we carry on. Just get a look at this. We're down at the River Derwent now, which obviously goes into Derwent water. Ah, beautiful autumn colour. Might even be a shot there with the reflections. I'll tell you what this is as well. This is because I've had a good sleep. I'm feeling brilliant, which doesn't usually happen with my wild camping. Oh, look at that, can you see? Just there, them ducks are going to come and absolutely ruin that composition. Oh, there's 2 there as well. Oh, you little rats. Right, I'm going to have to be quick here. That was really harsh, wasn't it? Rats. I love ducks. Sorry lads, I don't know why I thought it was appropriate to shout rats at you. Right, I got the shot, and actually the ducks that I just abused are actually in the frame and are actually adding to the frame, so that's a double apology. I should have saved a bit of my Cumberland sausage bun for you lads. Ruined their morning, but yeah, this is really nice. Quickly smashed it into a square crop. I'll pop it on the screen now. And yeah, just aperture priority, f5.6. Shutter speed was whatever it wanted to be. And it was just a lovely scene. Made sure I had the sort of, you know, played with symmetry. Made sure I had the middle of the frame, right in the middle of the reflections. And yeah, just lovely having that autumn colour, isn't it? Adds so much to everything. And this really is the place to be. And it's cloudy. There's quite a lot of thick cloud up there. But that's ideal, you know. It's about 10:30, 11:15 in the morning now. I do not want direct sunlight shining down on all of these scenes because that would just be a distraction. All right, onwards. Oh, so we're quite far. We're not too far from the van now. And look at this, what's developed. Absolutely unreal, back towards Castle Crag and King's Howe. I mean, I'll put the image up on the screen. It's that same image from earlier on in the adventure when I first set off. But we've got this style here. I don't actually know how I didn't notice this on the way in. Perhaps it was all just a bit too similar to what I'd taken already. But yeah, I've just grabbed a couple of shots here. I mean, you could see what I'm doing. Style on the right-hand side of the image. Castle Crag somewhere in the middle, and then, or on the left probably. And then yeah, just all of this kind of mist that's just honestly come up from Derwent, the River Derwent, like out of nowhere really. It was just gone. But yeah, I'll put that one up. I think that's going to be quite nice, you know. That is very, very atmospheric, and a few bits and bobs of autumn colour as well. Yeah, lovely. So I'm going to leave you there because I'm going to go into Keswick, see if I can maybe buy myself a new fleece full of beans because I've had such a good sleep. But yeah, like I said earlier, please drop a comment down below. Let me know where you're from. I find that so interesting. And thank you so much for joining me on this adventure, especially if you've watched right to the end. I really appreciate your support. Please hit the thumbs up button on the video as well. It really helps me out. And if you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe. I shall see you on the next adventure. Out.